So if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I'm a new monarchy kind of guy. The red and white Executor Hideo. But for the first faction rally of Destiny 2, I have betrayed the old red and white and pledged to Lakshmi 2. Mainly because, I don't know, that looks cool. That chair looks cool. I mean, look at this guy. He's like watching Twitch on one screen and farming gold and WoW on the other. My reward for this faction betrayal was the Pleiades Corrector, which is the future War Cult Scout Rifle. This falls into the same exact class as the Mida Multi-Tool. Comes with Rampage, which we've talked about in the last Perdition review. Kills with this weapon temporarily grant increased damage. It can stack up to 3 times. The damage buffs are very small in PvP, usually 2 additional damage on the precision counter. High caliber rounds in the second tree here, or Flared Magwell, which gives you nicer stability and even better reloading. You can see that the handling stat of the Pleiades is maxed out, making aiming down sights really easy and quick. So the Spark PS is your first option here, and the second gives you a little bit more range, but it's bulky, ugly, and I would not recommend using it. The intrinsic perk of Lightweight Frame gives you superb handling and you move faster with this weapon equipped. So this is pretty much like the little brother of Mida Multi-Tool, and it fits into the legendary slot, so if you want to run an exotic in another, you're basically set to do that. The base range stat of the Pleiades Corrector is a little bit less than that of the Mida, so let's take a look at the recoil pattern here. As you can see, the weapon has a rock-solid stability stat that brings the recoil pattern slightly up and slightly to the left. Very easy to manage so long as you're timing your shots. Notice when you let the shot fully reset, you can see a very tight pattern and virtually no spread. The weapon has a base magazine size of 15 and reloads fairly quickly. As you would expect with a max handling stat, pulling in and out of ADS is extremely fast. So then how does it actually feel? Well, in PvP, you're dealing 44 precision damage and 29 body damage, bringing yourself directly in line with the Mida Multi-Tool since it's the same impact and rate of fire class. Lightweight Frame is the real standout perk here. Having the additional movement benefit is a big deal in PvP, especially if you're comfortable with strafing. It can make you a much harder target to pin down for the opponents and give you the upper hand in a lot of duels. If you're looking for more information about the Rampage perk and what I think about it in PvP, check out the video linked here on the last Perdition. The Rampage perk allows you to stack additional damage. It is a 3-second cooldown. If you end up getting 3 kills in that short time frame and getting the 3 stack, you'll see a damage bonus of 7 to 8 on your precision damage shots, which can help, but on a scout rifle, I don't think it's nearly as beneficial as on a pulse, and like I mentioned in the Perdition review, it's very rare in PvP that you're going to be able to stack up enough kills to make a Rampage something that's even that worthwhile. And since the cooldown is so darn short, you have such a small window to keep the proc active, it's just, if the stars align, can be useful in PvP, but it's certainly not a perk that I would pick for PvP-oriented weapons. Now for PvE, Rampage is awesome. It allows you to throw extra DPS downrange, especially if you're in charge of killing most of the trash mobs. Let's say you're in the outer courtyards of the raid and you need to get a lot of enemy mobs down as quickly as possible. This is where the Pleiades is going to really shine in PvE. Obviously, the higher impact Nameless Midnight remains my preferred PvE scout rifle, but this is a fantastic option, and as always with a legendary weapon, it leaves open the exotic slot for you to throw in something like a Merciless. So how does the weapon actually feel then? In PvP, pretty darn good. I definitely throw it into the A tier so long as you're comfortable controlling your shots. Would I use this over Mida? No, not a chance. The Mida Multi-Tool's intrinsic perk of boosting your movement speed is just too darn good with the ability to keep the radar on screen at all times. It's just, Mida offers a lot of pros with virtually no cons. That's why it's so darn popular. It just doesn't have a lot of drawbacks to using it. And while the Pleiades does have lightweight frame, it just doesn't give you that same kind of movement boost that the Mida's intrinsic perk does. An area, though, where the Pleiades does outclass the Mida is that awesome handling stat, which is at maximum. You'll notice the damage fall off starting a little bit sooner than you probably would like with a scout rifle, which can definitely lead to larger maps like Javelin 4, depending on how many precision and body shots you're landing. So in conclusion, Pleiades is pretty darn fun to use. If you get one, don't throw it away because it can be a great legendary option if you love the way Mida feels but you want to run a different exotic, then cool, this is something great to add to your kit. For me, I put this on my mental tier list at like B+ for most players and A- for skilled players who use it to its benefit. Up close and personal, nope, you want to be using a submachine gun, auto rifle, or a hand cannon. But at the mid to long ranges, this is going to go toe-to-toe with just about anything else out there in PvP. For PvE, stick with the higher impact class above this, the Nameless Midnight class, as that will deal just the extra damage that you need to throw downrange. However, you can use this in PvE for good effect. I want to extend a question out to you all now that we're sort of wrapping up the first faction rally. What did you think of the event? What would you change, and what stood out to you as sort of the biggest success and the biggest failure? I'd love to hear what you think about it in the comments down below. For me, I thought it was a really cool event. I love the idea of competing, and we're all going to see who wins at the end of the week. However, I am really disappointed about the fact that the gear is just reskins. I would have loved to see at least armor sets and hopefully ships down the road that are unique for the factions themselves. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time.